When I hear from you, I'm going to call up Erica Fox.
I've lived in Studio City for the better part of my life. It's been a great place to live, and I'm glad to see my neighbors here tonight. I have two questions for you, and help me if my math's off, but over 30% of this space is going to be dedicated to open space in the dark green area. If that's correct, can you and have you looked at a way of making that space all together into one larger area for the community? So that's my first question. My second question is, on the chance that your plans don't come to fruition, will Harvard Westlake work with the community to find a way to return this parcel back to the community that it came from? Those are my two questions.
I'll start with the second question. You know, our plans as presented here have resulted from work with the community. That's what we've been doing. And I don't want to present a false alternative that we don't, if we don't get the community working with us, then that's not at all our intent. Our intent is to continue to work with the community, to continue to make this an amenity for us and an amenity for the community. And so we're moving as carefully and as thoughtfully and as collaboratively forward as we possibly can. I don't anticipate our taking steps backward, but I do anticipate our stepping forward with the community. So that's question two. And I'll go to question one, I'll defer to David.
I'd be more than happy to pass along that suggestion. We look at this as all movable pieces. And there are elements of it that we would like to see, that in some respects are very important that we see reflected there. But as part of where things are specifically located, our goal number one is to make sure that they're operated in an efficient and safe manner, that they're operated in a way that is respectful of the neighborhood around it. But I think to the extent that we can satisfy those two conditions and address your comment about consolidating some of that dark green area in ways that are more contained and joined together, I'd be more than happy to pass along that request to our architectural team to study.
We appreciate, I think, 6 acres together might be more beneficial to the community than the path around the property. And that's one. And my question was not that we're not working together as a community. I see that process and I respect it a great deal.
Yeah, we do.
However, my question is really, should it come to the point where, we're at a mutual impasse? Is there a chance for Harvard Westlake to work with the community in finding another use?
What we're here to do tonight is to talk about this proposal. And it's a proposal that we are making with a great deal of research. I hope you're impressed by my colleague and his understanding of trees in the vicinity. We are not, if I can just finish, we are not making this proposal without a tremendous amount of research, a tremendous amount of thought, but we're here to talk about this proposal. So we're not here to talk about alternatives. I guess we're here as optimists and collaborators and listeners, but not in the position tonight to talk about alternatives. We're talking about this and the concerns that it presents and the opportunities that it presents.
All right, so this will be our last speaker for the evening.
So I see a lot of people here that are for the project, are associated with Harvard Westlake or have students who go to Harvard Westlake. But, and I see other are for the community and the greater community of Los Angeles. But I sit in this weird, or perhaps a privileged position of having something to do with Harvard Westlake, in that both of my children are on a swim team that is very closely affiliated with the school. Now, if you were not a student at Harvard Westlake, even though you paid the same amount to be on the team, you were not allowed to use the weight room when you got to senior 4. If people misparked, it was always the non-Harvard Westlake students or teammates who were threatened with being no longer allowed to use the pool. So my concern is I hear it's going to be public-private partnership and we'll be allowed to use it, but I also hear liability, and I see signs all around Harvard Westlake that say, you know, due to liability, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm a little concerned about that. I'm also, and this is something I really don't understand. You keep talking about how few students are going to use it. So then why do you need it? To me, just being a person who lives in the United States today, I think what really are the future plans for this or for your campus? Because it cannot be that you are doing all of this and you spend $55 million for 250 children a year, and LA couldn't, you know, buy it for that. And I also want to say I understand that your motto is, you know, that you're going to do everything for the community, but when I was watching my daughter take her ISEE, I saw what the motto of the school is, and the motto of the school translated into English is, we can because we think we can. And I think that that sort of shows what this project is.
Thank you. Brief response on the numbers. I think that when we talk about how few people are actually going to be on this site, we're talking about spectators. We actually intend to use it for our many students who are involved in sports, and it's not 250. No, those are the number of spectators who come to games per day. But we have over 1,000 students who are involved in sports at the school, many of whom are at the upper school, many of whom are, as I described, in those stacked practices and not having the opportunity to get home, not having the opportunity to live balanced lives. These are things that we're working at for, and we would like very much to collaborate with you and with the rest of Los Angeles. So I appreciate your concerns, and I also, to the narrow things that you mentioned about students who are not Harvard Westlake students somehow being treated lesser than, that's a problem. We shouldn't have that taking place, and I appreciate your highlighting it for me. I turn it back to our moderators.
Thank you.